Welcome back. In this video, we're getting to the bottom of Palantir's insider selling. Now, this is the number one comment I have gotten over the past few days with all of the viral videos of Alex Karp, Shyam, Sankar, and everything else. Palantir has been top of mind for so many investors, but the concern remains, why are insiders selling so much? So I have what no one else is telling you. It's some good news and some bad news, plus an update on short interest. Let's get started with the bad news, some facts about insider selling. So this is Peter Thiel, co-founder, chairman of the board, and over the past couple years, this is the data I have, from June 2021 to most recently, he has been selling. He hasn't really sold that much as a percentage basis. If you look from 6.6% to 5.7%, that's really only about a 14% decrease, right? And he's chairman of the board. It's not like he has stepped away from the company. We don't really hear from him very publicly on Palantir, but I am sure he is fully committed to Palantir and very involved in the company's long-term strategy. So if he's pulled away 14%, that doesn't seem too significant to me. He is still the largest owner of this stock. And keep in mind, the value of his stock has increased far more than 14%. Now for Alex Karp, CEO and another co-founder, we have his ownership percentage of the company declining from 0.36% to all the way to 0.3%. Okay, so this graph makes it look more extreme. At the same time, he seems just as committed as ever to the company. His takes are finally getting realized more widely and respected. Palantir has met its moment. And so he's lost about 16% of his ownership of the company by insider selling. A lot less than it makes it seem like with this graph. I'll get to the good news on this in a moment. And then we have Alex Moore, who's the number one employee and is also on the board of directors, but no longer working for the company. So his ownership has gone from 0.12% to 0.07%. So that is a significant decrease of about 42%. But you can imagine, being the number one employee, you're going to have to cash out at some point, right? And finally, we have Shyam Sankar, former COO of the company, now CTO of the company. His ownership has fluctuated a bit over time, 0.09% down to 0.04%, back up, down to 0.05%. So he seems to be selling when he gets shares distributed for performance. So let's talk about what that means. The good news is there are new compensation plans coming. And this is directly referring to what Alex Karp means when he says he's re-architecting the entire company around their newest and most popular product, AIP. Everything about the boot camps, everything about the development that they've been putting into this product, everything that prepared them to launch it. Here's what he has to say.
The last couple months since we launched AIP, since we had aipcon, we have seen the way in which technologies we've built that seem to be of moderate utility were built almost in anticipation of the AI revolution, both algorithmic and large language models. And that convergence has remade Palantir, taking Palantir away from its terminal value being it made the world better by making our institutions in the West stronger, more productive, more efficient, in some cases more deadly, to giving us the aspiration and realistic perspective of being the most valuable enterprise software company in the world.
So this is what the new compensation plan looks like that they were working out over time. Here's Arnie's post on the subject. PRSUs are stocks granted based on performance targets. Now, the performance targets are not disclosed, but no performance means no compensation. So we just heard what Alex Karp said here about, in general, the philosophy behind why they're doing it, and I think it makes total sense. It's aligning with employees, the shareholders' desires, which is we want to grow this company, make it as successful as possible. You're going to get rewarded by doing so. So I think this is a great plan. Let's dig in a little bit further. This is the Blackline report from Palantir's 10K, which recently got filed. Everything in red has been changed from last year's 10K. Everything green got added to this year's 10K. So you can see it very clearly what's been added most recently. Vesting periods for RSUs and the new PSRUs are generally up to 4 years and 3 months respectively. So why do I say this is good news? Well, I think this is good news because we want the ownership of all of our Palantir C-suite managers to increase. But we don't want to just give them free stock. We want them to earn it. We want them to earn it in ways that benefits us shareholders, and that's by growing the business, growing top line, increasing margins, boosting the bottom line, creating shareholder value, and all of that. And they can't just take these stocks and run. They have to vest, which I also think is a good thing. The performance-based vesting condition is satisfied upon the achievement of certain company performance goals set by the compensation committee of the board of directors. So you might be wondering, oh, well, perhaps the board of directors is going to be too lenient and give away too much free stock. Well, I wouldn't be too concerned about that because as of December 31st, 2023, there was no unrecognized stock-based compensation expense related to the PRSU outstanding. So the ultimate number of PSRUs earned and eligible to vest ranges between 0 to 100% of PRSUs, granted depending on the level of achievement of such company performance goals. I think it is going to greatly benefit the internal culture of the company, get a lot of institutional investors interested in doubling down, and is going to essentially fix the insider selling problem. So with that said, there's been a lot of talk about burning the short sellers, especially from Alex Karp. Very excited when he was given that opportunity to address the question, do you like burning shorts? He said, absolutely I do, and for many reasons. But the question is, have the shorts already been burnt? It looks like they got absolutely destroyed in 2023 when Palantir went on a massive tear and the days to short collapsed, as well as the historical short interest shares from 150 down below 50. But it's still at 40 million shares, which is where Palantir essentially opened with in 2020. So there's just as much skepticism as there was back then when Palantir was just getting started. Revenues are double or triple. Palantir is profitable. They've increased the conviction and strength and track record of the management team, yet the shorts are just as convinced that Palantir is headed to zero. And that's the problem with short selling, is you might believe there's a good trade to be made where Palantir could fall 20% and you could profit, but on balance, you're hoping the stock goes to zero and you're going to do whatever you can to make it go there, be it printing false headlines, falsely attacking people at the company, and other really horrible events. Whereas you can't really accomplish that in the same way if you're long a stock. So I hope this was a helpful update going through all of the new compensation plan that we know about and how it's actually going to benefit the insider selling dilemma, which I hope you realize now is not as extreme as you may have initially thought. And with the new PSRUs, they're going to vest over 4 years. They're going to be tied to performance, and it's really going to benefit all shareholders. So with that, let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time.